Welcome to my little recording that I've put together. So this is just a quick introduction about who I am. So I'm Steve Lobby Thornton. I'm the founder of Trojan Wellbeing, which is a peer support group for my colleagues in the emergency services and their family members. So just a little bit about my background. I'm a retired Metropolitan Police firearms officer, spent 36 years with the Met Police, retired as a police officer in 2013, moved down to Devon to get away from the rat race of London, and spent 2.5 years as a beach bum in Teignmouth in Devon, until my wife got fed up of me and asked the Met to take me back as a civilian firearms instructor in 2016. And I recently resigned from the Met Police in July 2022. So my journey into why Trojan Wellbeing came about. So my role as a firearms instructor within the Met Police, one of my responsibilities was looking after the well-being of my colleagues and those that were involved in police shootings, so looking after their mental health, which really started me down the journey of sort of mental well-being. During my sort of period of time, my retirement sort of period of time, 2013, 2016, I started working for a police charity called the Police Firearms Association, where I became a coach for the charity, providing NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, for colleagues up and down the country. And what it did for me, highlighted the scale of the problem of the mental health crisis being faced by my colleagues in the police, and to that extent, all the emergency services. So when I rejoined the Met in 2016, it was with a vision of sort of starting wellbeing initiatives to sort of make sure we had a fit for purpose wellbeing sort of support for my colleagues. So when I returned to the Specialist Training Centre based in Gravesend, I set about providing mental health awareness training for supervisors. One of the biggest problems I was constantly being told by officers who were coming into contact with the PFO, the Police Firearms Association, was that they felt that their supervisor just didn't understand and were putting extra pressure on them. So I thought if we were to increase the mental health awareness of the supervisors, that would then have a knock-on effect of looking after the colleagues around them. I also introduced yoga to firearms officers, which was a feat on its own. Obviously, we had to rebrand it as fitness yoga to trick them to get them through the door. But the benefits of that, obviously the physical benefits, all the aches and pains we have, carrying all that kit on a day-to-day basis. I mean, the physical benefits were fantastic, so I stretched them out with the yoga. But what was surprising was the actual feedback we got as a result of the meditation period of the yoga session, the 15 minutes of being able to relax. And for some, it was the first time they've actually been able to sort of quieten their brain. And this was sort of evidenced by some people falling asleep during the session. So we implemented yoga. This was so successful that we rolled it out to the rest of the Met, and some specialist units, especially the murder investigation teams, and our child sex exploitation units found a great benefit of having this as a coping mechanism for the mental health. So that led on to a few other things going on. And one of the reasons why Trojan Wellbeing was created was this sort of lack of support. We had an employment assistance program within the police, and I was constantly hearing colleagues were contacting them and being told, you're going to be seen by a counsellor at 8 to 12 weeks, which for some who were in crisis at that particular time was shocking, really, and something needed to be done about it. So I set up Trojan Wellbeing, which predominantly is a peer support group. So we could provide free at the point of contact support for any colleagues and family members, not forgetting those unsung heroes, all those people who will leave at home every time we walk through the door to go and start our shift, and the amount of pressure they were under and how it impacted their mental health. So the peer support group started, and started to find that we were being of interest to people who'd left the police, who'd become professionally trained counsellors or therapists who wanted to sort of, give back something, they appreciated the demands on policing, and they wanted to give back, using their experience. So they became part of Trojan Wellbeing, which really took us to an all new level. So anyone coming to us with any specific problems, we could actually signpost them to a fully trained counsellor or therapist who specialised in that particular area. So they were getting appropriate support. Whereas the problem before was people being put in front of counsellors who didn't understand the demands of the job, and there was a lack of connection. So we were getting lots of sort of people saying, well, counselling never worked for me. You talking to other people who said, EMDR was fantastic for me, so I don't understand why it didn't work for you. And I think the main problem being that lack of connection between the client and the counsellor, something which we're very keen to address within Trojan Wellbeing. So it's now developed. Trojan Wellbeing, we've now got over 120 members, 30 of which are trained counsellors and therapists. So anyone reaching out for support will be put in touch with, who require professional assistance, will be put in touch with someone who's appropriate for their needs. But ultimately, and the biggest sort of strength of Trojan Wellbeing is that we can actually provide that peer support, looking after people, talking to sort of fellow colleagues, because 9 times out of 10, all it takes is just sitting down, having a brew with someone, just sitting down, having a chat can resolve a lot of problems. And valuing that person and showing genuine care and concern about that person, something which I felt was sadly lacking, certainly within my organisation, is that someone just didn't have the time to sit down and talk to colleagues. And something I was keen to do when I was serving the police was to sort of value my colleagues and give them that time. Because sometimes they just want to offload. You're not there to fix a problem. They just wanted someone to talk to. And if they did require professional support, we can now provide that, which is fantastic. The group is awesome, and it's just going from strength to strength to strength. We're now involved with a number of other different agencies. One in particular, he organises expeditions. Next year, we've got planned is a climbing Snowdon and seeing the sunrise. And getting out in the outdoors, we all know the benefits of being out in the outdoors, how it's so good for our mental health. So we've got events such as that. Me personally, I've gone from being a firearms officer to now opening up a clinic that runs hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Now, if someone had said to me 2 years ago, you're going to be running your own clinic and you're going to be a hyperbaric oxygen therapy specialist, I would have laughed at them. But that's just the direction we've gone in. We've looked at the benefits of what hyperbaric oxygen can do. And my particular interest is PTSD, dementia, brain injuries, and recent research around sort of hyperbaric is that it increases the oxygen getting into the parts of the body that are dying. So if you've had a stroke, parts of the brain that aren't being served by oxygen. And this is something that we can do. Obviously, the other benefits is sort of identified by the celebrities and sports stars who are using hyperbarics for performance, anti-aging. So if you're looking at me, yes, I'm 57 years old and I look 23, but oxygen increases the collagen in the skin and renews the skin. So there's so many different sort of benefits that we're finding out on a daily basis. It's a very exciting time for us, and hence I want to make this accessible to all my colleagues, not just the elite sort of sports players or the celebrities. I want to make this accessible for everyone because of the benefits that it brings with it. So we're working with a couple of charities Again, you know, my favourite charity, the Police Firearms Association, we're looking at making oxygen therapy available to the members through Trojan Wellbeing. We want to do some funding, even open up to sort of a military community. Veterans who've been diagnosed with PTSD, we're hoping to be running a research study into the benefits of oxygen therapy and how it can improve their quality of life. So that's Trojan Wellbeing in a nutshell, a bit about me. So what can we do for you? So, you know, you can see the amount of sort of different experiences we've got within Trojan Wellbeing. So if you've got any problems, you know, please just drop us a message, get in touch with us, and we'll find someone who can help you, who's got the appropriate skill sets to help you out, whether it's sort of a mental health sort of concern you've got, physical health concern. You know, we're able to sort of assist with, you know, sports injuries, sort of, you know, the physiotherapists, up to sort of including, you know, what I'm offering with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So please, you know, just reach out. There's nothing worse than feeling as though you're trapped and you've got no options available to you, which is what we're all about. We're giving people options to try and help them improve their quality of life. So please, you know, you've got the contact details. Just reach out and someone from our team will be in touch. Look forward to hearing from you. Take care.